थी वहां पे। यागो ने तो 4 चांद लगा दिए। एक पल को लग रहा था कि शायद आज उतना अच्छा दिन नहीं जाएगा, लेकिन अंत में आते आते वहां पे लॉस ने जिस हिसाब से पिटाई करना शुरू की, शायद बाकी टीमें देखती ही रह गई। बट आज ग्रुप ए से ही पता चल जाएगा कि क्या सोच विचार रखती हैं टीमें और क्या माइंडसेट के साथ मैदान में हुई है। क्या टॉप 4 के लिए अभी भी
everybody is looking forward to another 4 slots tomorrow. Hopefully they don't go there, they make it out here itself. And especially we've been talking about Group A, which has teams being the toughest ones, the ones who've been the champions. If they walk away into the finals itself, the other teams will have a very big trouble moving into the silver stage.
Yeah, and that's ironically something that a lot of these squads are hoping to happen, right? They are hoping that the heavy hitters, the front runners, make it directly to the grand finals, so it makes the odds for tomorrow better. And usually you don't want to hope for your opponents to win, but in this case, for some of our hopefuls up here, some of our first timers, they want that to be a possibility. They want to increase their chances. And speaking about chances, Gun Dynasty, they're looking good, they're feeling confident, they believe that the hard work will pay off, and I personally believe in that as well. Yesterday's performance was great. Now we need to see them push it through the finishing line.
Yeah, we had this conversation earlier as well, right? Southeast Asia versus Brazil. I think that's where the entire competition right now seems here at Esports World Cup 2026. But Gun Dynasty for Latin America, they're coming out of the mix, out of the blue, and nobody's able to read them. And especially for a player to tell that we're not at all feeling pressure. This is the usual stuff for us day in, day out. That is unbelievable in such a high intense, high octane stage.
Yeah, I can't believe. I think it's like the mental fortitude and just the prep that they had, right? First time stepping onto such a big stage and having such confidence. And why wouldn't you be confident sitting in second place, just behind Buriram United Esports, who are at the top, of course, with 3 booyahs and 80 elimination points. But if we take away that 3 booyah, Gun Dynasty isn't that far behind, right? They are only 3 eliminations behind Buriram United Esports, followed by HGL, and then our defending champions from 25, which is Evos, Lao Snickers as well, with 2 booyahs under the bag. Team Falcons catching up in the later stages of Group A. The top 6 look incredibly strong, but then we see the separation between 6 and 7.
Yeah, big difference around the 6 and 7. 58 points is where Aurora right now start off, and that's almost around a 30-point difference. This is not going to be an easy jump up, and that is the reason we've been talking about, like, yes, at the end of the day, we're going to be going to the Crusher to take away dreams. It could happen for some of them. They have to jump up, and in terms of those dreams, has to be the South Asian teams, that is Titan Esports Club and Demon's Pride. They've not at all had a great start. At least for Titan Esports Club, they have eliminations working for them. It's the placement points that they'll start working towards. Maybe there's a move up. They manage a chance towards the survival stage. I think that is a hit they have to look forward to.
Yeah, you got to get into the flow state for the next 6 rounds. And we actually, even during some of the team intros, we saw the South Asian teams, right? You can feel the nervousness, right? There is some tension in the air, and hopefully it breaks when they hop into the lobby. Yesterday was all about getting comfortable, right? Getting the seats warm, and hopefully when you sit back down, you are in the zone. You are feeling, comfortable enough to let yourself go and just play freely. And I think that's the toughest part. People always say that you play the best when you have nothing to lose, when you play freely and have fun, but it's pretty tough when you have so much on the line.
But Gun Dynasty, it doesn't seem like they're thinking in that direction at all. They've been completely keeping themselves away from that thought process where there's a lot to achieve, lot at stake. This is our time on the stage. They are not thinking about that. They're making sure they put the best performance of Free Fire ever seen on the biggest of stages, and they're able to deliver. Sitting at the second spot, 3 eliminations away from the team at the very top, tells you the caliber that they're walking here in Paris and looking forward to their global title, taking it away from EWC. EWC, yes, got their booyah, but is it going to be enough for them?
And I'm going to take it a step further, Lucifer. There are 3 points difference in terms of elimination compared to BRU, right?
Yeah.
So the main difference is the placement. Because if BRU have 1 less booyah, Gun Dynasty would already be at the top, and actually it's closer than it is. And if you put that into perspective, it's a very scary thought. You said that, for a team that is on this stage, they play freely with as if there's no pressure at all. For a first timer, that is even more insane. So right now, I think hopping into today's games, the map rotation are going to be slightly different. Yesterday, we did have the more Indonesian heavy favorite rotation in the second half, but today we get double purgatory. And you know what that means? Brazil and Thailand are going to be elated, but we'll start it off again with the classic opener of Bermuda to hop into game 1 of Group A on day 2.
And this is where every team needs to start, especially the ones in the middle order as well as the teams at the bottom. If they don't start making points now, they will not be able to catch up to the race, especially because now the Crusher is in front of everybody. And the map starts off evening the entire playland into a half.
And even if when you look at your screen, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the amount of booyah some of these teams have acquired for themselves. I say some, but 6 booyah split amongst 3 teams. We are, of course, holding the record, so if we ever get into a tiebreaker situation, they will have that innate advantage. But most Free Fire tournaments, Free Fire matches, we didn't have to go down that path because it is separated by eliminations. So those gun power are going to be very, very important. We see some early skirmishes already. The player is getting hyped out. DRS, a team that wants to get out from the bottom, starting off right.
The real soldiers. They look decent. I really like how they played. We were talking about them yesterday when we were sitting backstage and looking at their games. They start off well. They have their one-off games, and they did that yesterday as well. EVO's right now on a team that needs to get to the top spot. That is going to be Falcons. They're firing on them. Eliminations already, 3 totaled up. This tells you why they're the champs, why they're the defending ones right here on EWC. But now challenge coming in from Pina. He's already taken 1 down. Damage big time. And I think Apax is in big trouble. Glue walls help him out, and then running around the glue wall, he puts Pina down.
Bailed out by the mini Uzi in the CQC. There's a full spray down onto Pina. 4 points for EVOS at the start of this game. But Falcon's not out just yet. In fact, the whole team has been brought back, so we're back to square one. DRS, though, continues to rack up points by picking up stragglers, this time from Paradox Gaming. And even Windy himself catching Alu out in the open, but again, the mini Uzi is the superior weapon.
What an individual battle being laid down by DRS. Looking very confident today, and this is how they played their game number 1 yesterday as well. And I think this is very consistent performance coming in, especially for the teams from Nepal. This is something that I expected when I was seeing these South Asian teams play out, and DRS are delivering. Can they deliver to the top 4 is a question, but right now another 1v1, and this time Prateek, he will not be able to take a hit because this time it's going to be Team Apex Gaming, who we spoke about, slowly make a comeback, and it's already started off finding the very first, and that's going to be Shoto, but his trouble is still not done. Around the pipes, it's going to be Stroex, who is trying to trouble him, but Shoto out in the open, not the best position to be in. But there are reinforcements. That is KD God, the IGL. He has to stand with the team today, and he finds the opening.
And you had your opinions about these 2 teams that both started off good. For DRS, they are like the early round wonders. You need to see more consistency, but for TAG, they need some time to warm up. And I think it's falling into place for now as AGAL finds himself a basically isolated Axo. So that's their 4-point. Rest for Aurora Gaming out of there. Jun will have to drive along the coastline. But AGAL, we know when they smell blood, they are going to keep on hunting. So we'll check back in there in just a little bit. TEC taking over the compound, and Jazzy able to launch pad to safety.
Demon Sprites still haven't found their openings. No eliminations, rather have lost 2 players. A Swab will be finally revived, but KD God on the other end, still troubling DRS. Wait. Titan Esports Club versus Demon Sprite. Both these teams are at the bottom. Both of them need points. But in the mix of this, the last player, Jun, gets found, and Aurora are out again.
That was scary. For half a second there, TEC going for the chase and almost gave away a 1v2. Thankfully, not a reality. Now, Apex Gaming continues to hunt for Pratik. Actually, getting the Bison on the KD God. Instantly a recovery there. KD God going down again. Woman! Getting some magic done here. There is some recovery towards the very end, and thankfully, TAG continues to thrive.
4 eliminations in total. KD God with 2 of his own, and this is what we need being delivered by him. He is the pillar of the team, like we were talking about Mafia from Total Gaming yesterday. KD God does that for this team, and as I said, slowly but steadily they pick up pace, and it seems like they are moving in the direction. Yesterday we did see one of the game where they did find eliminations around the double digits, but it's not going to be enough. Today they have to rake up a lot of points because the difference at the top 4 already sits at triple digits.
Yeah, gotta keep up to that, live up to that name, right?
Yeah.
If you call yourself KD God, you better rack up some numbers here. Even for Titan Esports Club, they are now currently in 11th place. Last we checked in on them and the overall standing, they're 4 points already. That is you know, in all honesty, in a lobby that already started slower than what we saw yesterday is a good thing, right? My personal prediction is that teams like BRU, they are going to slow down a little bit. They are already in such a comfortable spot. They're not going to be hunting for much. And this is actually a very good opening for teams at the bottom or the middle of the pack to start racking up some points.
Hands down, that's right. This should be an opportunity that the teams in the middle order should pick up points, and that's what Paradox is trying to do. Already found an opening on Team Apex Gaming. Will confirm the elimination, Katie God, but quickly being hit upon. That Shoto putting down Sneaky for his sneaky approach on his captain.
And Paradox still having members around. It's going to be windy now. Enrique out in the open. Shoto wins out on that exchange. And Enrique now fully alone. Snipe not in sight at all. As Paradox Gaming pretty much separated on the map. And this is great for Apex Gaming. That's 7 points under the belt.
Really good. They're playing together and it's working out. 7 eliminations, as you said. On the other end, Paradox, depending on their 4 eliminations that they got, they were also confident. But this is how the exchange goes. When the middle order teams finally find their fights, they're not completely sure about the top teams versus their own teams that they're fighting around the points for.
When we go down the food chain, it is going to eventually come down to the placement points, right? Like the longer it takes for teams to get removed from the lobby, the harder it is to bag those placement points. And finally, we see the heavy hitters bring into action. Rasha completely ran over by Jonah there. The Valiant dash from the Oscar doing most of the work. EVO's Divine, or EVO's Esports in this case, not really looking for a fight, right? They lost Rasha, and that's what EVO's has been doing, I think, yesterday as well, where they were sending Rasha out on a one-man mission, and he's been holding the fort really well alone as a sniper.
But Team Apex Gaming right now holding their own. Sailjon and Shoto putting down Gun Dynasty. We were thinking about this trouble that might strike Gun Dynasty. Shido trying to run away. Will that be possible? He's already spotted out. Last man standing right behind the glue wall. Finds an opening, but it's not going to be enough. His numbers are not that great. And Team Apex Gaming find another. That's going to be 10 total eliminations for them. And Benel is the last man standing.
And Benel, coincidentally, is also the star of the team as he gallops away to try and find some safety net. Dinoculus used to scout out the journey in front, and for now it is clear. Might run into Takuri if he goes slightly further, but don't have to do so. Vending machine available. GD not out just yet. And this was something, a concern that you brought up before the show started, right? That Gun Dynasty, they had a great start. They were really confident, but there's a chance that they drop out of top 4 today. And this might just slowly manifest itself. We check back with them in just a little bit, but Mandara getting absolutely fried in that hut with Limit watching from the side as well. The rest of Falcons about to surround their prey. Mandara with the Trogon, only good on the one. But no confirmation there as Falcons take him out.
Losing players, Demon Sprite, they need eliminations, they need points. We spoke about this. Titan Esports Club at least picked up, but Falcons on the other end, they know what they want. They want to get to the top 4. They are right now missing on the top of the charts, and that's the reason they're running right now. And they've already spotted top 16 because he's been laying down glue walls. Guerrero troubled a little in the meantime, but I don't think top 16 will have an opportunity. On the other end, Team Apex Gaming.
Wow.
They again re-challenge Paradox and put the entire team out.
And talk about a strong start as we check in the STC replay here. Demon's Pride, unfortunately, is caught in the cross, caught in rotation by Team Falcon. And of course, with the Skylar in hand, in the hands of Limit, it was easy pickings. Falcons raking up 10 eliminations, entering the double-digit club. 10 teams remain. We did lose Aurora very early on, like what we seen yesterday. Paradox being the recent casualty. DRS still in the lobby, but with only one survivor left. Grimnum Village completely taken over by the Falcons as they make their nest here. We can expect a bit of a rotation afterwards because the circle did move to the eastern side of the map.
Eastern and completely southern, and that is the reason we end up seeing teams here. But Falcon now have another trouble in front of them. The ones who they are sharing the overall rankings with, that's going to be loud in front of them. Takuri, the last one who is in the deep waters, will also be found and fished out. And with that, DRS are out. But right now, with the bolt maker being called, the fight breaks out between Falcons as well as Loud Snickers. They want this fight. They want to get back and make sure they stabilize their position. As we said, SCA versus Brazil. They want to make it Brazil, but it's not happening. It's a quick exchange. But BZP, he manages to confirm on Pina. That's a very crucial opening to taking out the CQC player.
He also spotted the rotation of Guaksha, so Limit is not going to let it out of sight. Nix actually fights Limit, the backstab. Perfectly done, and BCP back up on his feet. Loud Snickers outdoing Falcons. Keroro on the run with the launch pad. BZP not able to find the track. Falcons escape with their tails between their legs, but not fully clipped yet. Pina was brought back, but Loud Snickers now take control.
What a fight that was to hold it off and DZP to put Limit over there. If he did not fight because Limit was already fine, helping his teammates out with the sniper, and that is the reason taking out bits and pieces of Falcons worked out for Loud. First take down the CQC player and then go for the one in the long range made wonders. AGL on the other end, sneakily, they have been pulling up eliminations for themselves, 7 eliminations, and I think in the top 4 so far that we've seen teams, AGL are the ones who are very consistent, safe and sound, and not troubled by any team so far.
Same as BRU, right?
Yeah.
Both of these teams have been chilling a bit. We say that they have been taking it slow, but then when you look at the eliminations, AGL actually has 7 eliminations off screens, and most of it is just picking off stragglers and catching teams in rotation. But most of these teams, they were able to get those revives in, and this is why we still have 9 full squads, almost 9 full squads less for Demon's Pride. BRU now making their rotation just past Pochinok. A good chance that they run into GD again, who has been giving them some problems yesterday.
Ganda and ST, yesterday has been a problem for their own. Hopefully they soon recover. But right now, Demon's Pride, this spot a problem in front of them. That's going to be Loud. Quick run with the boost in the vehicle they took, and they take the compound right next to Demon's Pride. 3 players, Jazzy, Aswab and Madara, they have to figure an approach because Loud have been looking louder than ever here on day 2 for the top 4 spots.
Absolutely. And it seems like Demon's Pride are thinking about standing their ground, but there could be intervention from Evos, who are right behind them, just silently watching this go down. We see the UAVs being sent out. And I think Loud Snickers are doing the good move. This is a very classic pincer, right? You surround the compound and suddenly whoever is in those buildings becomes the one that is trapped. DP are starting to feel that pressure.
Yeah, today, I think Gun Dynasty, while they did not feel any of it yesterday, it is about qualifications. It's about keys at stake. It's about making it to the final. And right now, even Titan Esports Club on top of the silo, start putting players down, doing the damage, and Evo's helping out over there. Unfortunate, one of the eliminations was stolen away, but they still have the eyes on the Falcons. The verticality has changed. Falcons are on the ground, whereas Titan Esports Club are on the roof right now.
Yesterday we got very generous circles, but I think today things are going to only get worse.
Look at the final circle.
I mean, the circle's right out in the open, right? So
Yeah.
if you are not good, if you are not comfortable with these CQCs out in the open, if you are slow in the decision making, that is going to be the difference maker. And I think it's a very good time to put our teams to the test. Who can survive a circle as brutal as this?
Yeah, an open circle, and if you're able to stand your own, especially in game 1 of day 2, that gives you a lot of confidence moving further, and that's what Team Apex Gaming have done. They've started off great, but right now they have a challenge. All gamers global want to find an opening. Plethora of throwables being all tuned towards Team Apex Gaming. Flash freeze, nades, but now counter activity coming in from Team Apex Gaming, trying to push down AGAL. Shoto in the forefront using the dash, wants to find an opening, but AGAL are not giving space.
And they took care of the UAV as well. Medic gun to heal Shoto back up. The tip of the spear for TAG lies in his hands. Barrow's getting flanked out. Sahujan almost getting the takedown. That could have made a world of difference here, but it does put AGL in a dangerous spot. Right forward is Cypher that manages to break this fight wide open. TAG down 1, second one on the ground. KD gone now. We'll have to dig deep and find something, but AGL will be the one that prevails.
That was brilliant caliber and holding position played out by AGAL. They held that ground even though they were at a disadvantage. At the edge of their peak, they were still holding it off against Team Apex Gaming. Would have had an opportunity, but I think that being a little spread out became a disadvantage for them. But right now, spreading themselves around, we saw already this rotation coming in from Loud, the smartest one. They're ahead of Demon's Pride, and now they have vision. And Evos are also being troubled by Loud, and now even Demon's Pride, Trap already getting closer. He's already found an opening on a swap. Jazzy, he's also down. Trouble now for Demon's Pride, the last man standing, and the net from Trap. The M79 strikes death for Demon's Pride.
And off-screen, Team Falcons also dispatched by BRU, and now they turn their attention over to AGAL. His Nameless did get popped early on, but there should be a recovery. Titan Esports still has Blade around. And is he sharp enough to cut through the ranks of the Goliaths in front of him? Out in the open, this is going to be tough. No utilities, 2 glue walls, and only 5 medkits. As BRU will also have to make a break for it. Once more doorway out of this. They exit straight into the line of sight of Loud Snickers and potentially Evos.
This is what should not happen on your day 2 where you're looking forward to qualification. All the top 4 teams are still surviving. Buriram, AGA, Evos and Loud. It's only Titan Esports Club all the way at the bottom who has the last player standing, and he doesn't have any position in the zone. So a lot of points which could have been acquired for teams for qualification are being missed out. Blade will be spotted, quickly taken down by Cypher, and we come down to the last 4 teams, and all of them are in the top 4.
Wasana takes the nade to the face, but getting top back up by the therapy. The support system always solid there. Get high, getting sniped by Cypher. But BRU focus on Loud Snickers, and there's a fatal mistake as Loud Snickers and AJL work hand in hand for the elimination, and now they turn on each other.
AGL, they are inside the circle. Yosha gets taken down. Cypher wants to put BCP down in the truck. He's not been able to do, but finally that strike coming in from Dew, and Evo's Divine helping out as well. Nyx becomes the last man standing as Evos go out. Cypher has already spotted him, wants to whack him out, but Nyx, he's trying to isolate this fight. He brings it down, players are falling down, and eventually it'll still be AGL. They have the numbers, and they get their very first booyah.
Very first booyah in the group stage, and even without it, they were in the top 4 spots. So imagine when you give AJL such a big boon